Today, I'm going to give you something that I think is so important. It could save you or someone you love's life. Today, we are going to use the whiteboard lesson in regards to how to unload a semi-automatic pistol. And yes, this is pretty elementary today, but remember, we have people in all different stages watching my videos. And as a firearms instructor who's taught over 5,000 plus students in the many years, this is something that we never get old. It never gets old. You need to really, really make sure you understand it the best of your ability. And everyone around you that is going to be near the firearm you bring in home needs to understand it. So let's start off right off the bat, understanding the handgun safety rules. It's pretty important that you get these four. I actually use five, but the four are together. It's pretty easy. You just treat the weapon if it's always loaded. If that starts really all the handgun safety stuff in the world we talk about, guys, because if we start there, we know our finger shouldn't be on the trigger if we have any inkling that the gun could be loaded, right? Because the only really way a firearm will fire is if you engage the trigger, especially a semi-automatic pistol, because semi-automatic pistols are drop safe. In other words, if you drop them, they have sear safeties and drop safeties, and they should not fire when you drop them. Shotguns, rifles, ARs, all that stuff are really not drop safe just the way the firing pin is engaged. They say they are, but I would never want to drop an AR or a shotgun around anybody. A revolver, not really drop safe as well. You want to put semi-automatics, in my opinion, are drop safe. I know about the 320s, guys, so you don't need to comment down below. But inherently, all semi-automatic pistols are drop safe, sear safeties, all the bells and whistles. So if we assume that, we need to treat the weapon if it's always loaded. We need to keep our finger off the trigger until we're ready to fire. We want to point the weapon in a safe direction, and we never want to point the weapon at anything we love and don't want to destroy. And if you kind of get those ones right there, and we'll add one more just for my purpose, is know your target and what's beyond. And that's kind of important for concealed carry holders because we're responsible for a bullet until it hits the ground. So you've taken a class, you've been there, you've learned to load a magazine. This is what we do every day. Almost every day we do a class or two or three, and we work the same system out all the time. We get them running the gun. If it's a guy, we have them drive with their chest. We teach them the loading method. We teach them how to load a magazine. We teach them to rack the slide. We teach them everything. And at the end of that class, we go through how to unload a semi-automatic pistol. We just taught them how to load a semi-automatic pistol. And you would be surprised how many students look at me with this dazed look. I know how to load it, but how do I unload it? I don't know. I'm asking you how to unload it. Tell me what you think. And a lot of them act like they don't know, but if you kind of just think about it, guys, whatever we do, we just do in reverse. But we have to be kind of careful, right? Because if I did it in reverse and I rack the slide and then take the magazine out, then I have a loaded gun in my hand. So I want to give you the acronym to help you understand how to unload a semi-automatic pistol properly. And the acronym is DROP, D-R-O-P. You need to drop the magazine. You need to rack the slide. You need to open the slide. And you need to physically check it or pinky check it. The cool thing about a semi-automatic pistol, when you shoot your last round, it stays open. And it stays open for the point for you to drop your magazine. The cool thing is with a semi-automatic pistol, you can see daylight all the way through it. So it's pretty simple to know the gun is unloaded. There's no questions asked. Now, once you've done that, you've done the drop, you've done the rack, you've done the open, you've done the physical check. The issue, we need to put it down. If you're right-handed, put it down right-handed. A lot of students drop the gun on the table and pull their hand out from under it, which puts the gun left-handed. And if you're right-handed, you have to reach underneath it to grab it. So we want to put the gun down properly. These are 5 common things students do, that new students do, and old students, people who haven't shot a while. That's the very first one they do. They put the gun down wrong-handed. If you're going to have this gun on your dresser for your protection, you surely don't want it left-handed if you're right-handed, or vice versa. If you're left-handed, you want to put it down right-handed. That means dropping it down. So when I go to pick it up, I either have to pick it up twice, or I have to kind of put my hand underneath it and grab it. So we don't want to do that. Number 2 is we need to be very disciplined about where the barrel is. A lot of new students are sort of just getting into it, and they don't know where all the pieces, the magazine drop is and all that stuff. So halfway through the class, we'll catch them turning the gun to look at it. If you're doing a private class, that's okay. But when you are in a group at a range, you can't turn that gun sideways. So here's a little trick for you guys. If you're shooting and you get done and you bring the gun to you, just step back, turn the gun sideways, and you can look at it right here, right? Without turning the gun this direction where you got people next to you, right? That's kind of what we want to do. You want to be careful of being disciplined at that point. We need to be disciplined to understand just taking the magazine out does not unload the pistol. We need to make sure and verify the weapon is unloaded. And the best way to do that is take the magazine out and rack the slide multiple times. Not just once, multiple times. And that multiple times will make a big difference on knowing for sure that the weapon is unloaded. I think a lot of students get carried away about shooting too many rounds. They're not disciplined to the 5 shots or less. So they put 15 rounds in a magazine, and it becomes more challenging for them, and their accuracy weighs a little bit. So stick to 5 rounds as much as possible. One of the common mistakes that newbies make is they get carried away about pulling the trigger versus pressing the trigger. You know, these are safety sort of violations, because remember, that barrel needs to be pointed in this direction. And when you start getting into this pull thing, you're dropping the rounds and they're hitting the floor at the range. They're hitting the wood at the range, the backdrops at the range. Understanding the proper techniques is one of those things that students just assume they're going to be able to figure it out. Number 5, I think commonly most new students, especially men, don't think they need firearms training. They think they can figure it out themselves. I will tell you this, a handgun is probably the hardest thing to learn to shoot. There are so many different little things you can do and not do that will kill your accuracy. Spending the money to take a firearms training class will start the best foundation you can. Imagine building a house but not leveling your foundation first. Just throwing the concrete out there. Don't put any borders up. Don't put up any wood to hold the concrete. It'll dry. Don't worry about that. What kind of house are we going to have when we do that? And I think what happens most of the time is students try to figure it out themselves for months. Now think about that. If you're coming to the range and you're one of those 150ers, you know what that is? They come to the range and shoot 150 rounds. Whether they're good whether they're bad, whether they're on target, whether they're not on target, whether you just can't figure it out. You just assume you're going to squeeze a good shot out of this thing, or you're going to just naturally figure it out yourself. Well, every time you shoot 150 rounds, you're just building habits that you can't break. So trust me, taking a training class is one of the best things you can do for you and your loved ones. You know, we do couples trainings all the time. You want her to be comfortable. You want her to feel what we feel when we go to the range. You want her to feel just as confident as you feel, or you think you feel. So as a firearms instructor who's trained an awful lot of people, this can't be taught enough. We need to remember that safety comes first. Accuracy comes second. And that's one of the things we really get our head around. You just can't wing it. You can't assume. If you're comfortable with a weapon in your home and you're comfortable with a weapon being loaded, you better damn well know how to unload it. And everyone in your home the same. Because when it happens, the accidental discharge could be devastating. It hurts your pride. It may hurt your wallet, right? But if you don't know the safety the way it could cost you your life. So please understand, follow all the safety rules. If you don't know them, watch our YouTube channel, anybody's YouTube channel that deals with dealing with customers and dealing with handgun training. If you need my support, I'm here for you. Guys, as a firearms instructor who specializes in you, I spend an awful lot of time trying to put programs together for new students just like you. That's what the handgun training system is all about. There is a free target for you guys to check out the handgun training system. What is it? It is a webinar style course that we do once a week, every Monday night at 5:45. We give you a target, we give you a PowerPoint presentation, we give you a PDF target to shoot. We have a course-like system that you get the PowerPoint presentation of the drill, maybe a video of the drill as well, why the drill is important, why you should be doing the drill, and then you have the ability to turn your target in to us for us to evaluate your target and find out what we can do to help you become the best shooter you could be. If you want to learn more or get into the HTS system, just click yes down below and I will send you your free first target to get it. What is it? It's $29 a month if you get into it, but you get 4 targets, 4 PowerPoint presentations, 4 webinars, and you get all that plus working with me for less than $29 a month. That's a steal, guys, a steal. And you're going to become the best shooter you could be by getting into the HTS system. I put a lot of programs together. I put a lot of ebooks together. If you have a need for some education, I have one about grip and stance and trigger control and sight picture and sight alignment. All of these are set up for you as the student. Some students can take the ebook, read it, and get it. Some students can watch one of my YouTube videos and get it. Imagine the consuming you can get if you read it, watch it, and then get out there and do it. How much more education you'll have. That's what we started this channel for, to educate, motivate, and entertain. The whiteboard lessons, all of our videos we do, our social media, our handgun training system Facebook group, all this stuff is for our community and to make you the best shooter you can be. Guys, if you found some value in anything I've given you this evening and you have not subscribed to our channel, please don't forget to hit the bell icon, the like, and the subscribe button. And every time we upload a whiteboard lesson or any other videos, you will be the first to know. Until next time, God bless, be safe, and remember, you are your first line of defense. I love you very much, guys. If you like these whiteboard lessons, you're going to love the next one I got coming up. Stay tuned.